Some say lies are like seeds, small and harmless at first, but when left unchecked, they grow into thick roots, strangle everything around them. In the village of Uku, a girl named Efua became the mirror to every hidden truth and buried secret, her very hair revealing the darkness people tried to hide. It was a gift she didn't ask for, and a burden she couldn't escape. But as she learned, sometimes it takes the unlikeliest of causes to bring a village to face its own reflection. Efua wasn't like the other girls in Uku. She had a secret she never asked for, one that isolated her even though she desperately wanted to belong. She had long, dark, full hair. As she grew up, her parents noticed that her hair changed color often, and at first, no one could understand what caused the color to change. Everyone just marveled at how the color of her hair would change when you said certain things around her. In the beginning, Efua's hair color shifts were just a strange and beautiful curiosity to the villagers. People noticed it changed from deep shades of midnight blue to golden yellows or even fiery reds, but no one could explain why. It wasn't until one fateful day in the marketplace that people began to suspect a link between her hair and the truth. An elderly woman, Nana Kise, was bargaining for yams, her voice firm as she insisted that she didn't have enough money to pay the price the vendor demanded. As she spoke, Efua happened to pass by, escorting her mother to buy some yams, and right then, her hair turned a glaring, angry red. The vendor laughed, claiming that Nana Kese was lying to get a lower price. They joked about it at first, but then a similar thing happened again with a young boy who tried to deny stealing a mango even though someone had already caught him. Efua also happened to be there, and her hair turned red again. Over the following days, people started testing this hair color. Curious villagers would whisper small lies near Efua just to watch the colors change. Each time, her hair responded to dishonesty with a distinct shade, and soon everyone understood the pattern. Her hair exposed lies in a way words never could. They had discovered her gift, a silent but undeniable judgment over their secrets. At first, the villagers of Uku marveled at her unique gift. Some even thought it was a blessing, a divine way to keep people honest. But as Efua grew older, her presence became more and more unsettling than admirable. Whenever she passed by, conversations would abruptly end, and people would cast nervous glances at her hair, afraid of what color it might turn next. One afternoon, Efua overheard a group of women gossiping near the well. One of them, Binta, was bragging about her husband's success in the fields, claiming he had brought in the largest harvest of the season. But as soon as her words left her mouth, Efua's hair flashed a dark green, the color that meant envy. Binta froze, her eyes widening as she realized her lie had been caught. But Efua's hair didn't stop at green. It pulsed from green to a fiery red, a color Efua had never seen before. The women gasped, stepping away as if Efua herself was dangerous. Binta's voice trembled as she stammered, What does that red mean? Efua didn't know, but something deep inside her felt it wasn't good. That night, Binta's husband fell ill with a mysterious fever, and whispers spread through the village that Efua's cause was to blame. It didn't take long for the villagers to grow wary, believing that her hair didn't just reveal lies, it punished them. Days turned into weeks, and Efua's cause only seemed to intensify. No longer was her hair merely a reflection of truth, it became unpredictable, shifting to unfamiliar colors that no one understood. One day, as Efua walked past the village market, she heard a group of men discussing the taxes they owed to the village chief. One man, Tunde, assured the others that he had paid his share in full, but Efua's hair turned a sickly yellow, the color of cowardice. Tunde laughed it off, but that evening, the village chiefs discovered that Tunde had been cheating on his taxes and decided to punish him. Tunde was very angry, and the villagers began to see a pattern. Efua's hair didn't just reveal lies, It exposed hidden truths, and people were not ready to face that. The villagers did not like this. The village elders gathered in secret, debating how they might rid Uku of the dark powers that her hair held. Some wanted her to leave the village. Others wanted them to perform rituals to cleanse her. But no one dared to speak their thoughts directly to Efua, fearing her curse might turn against them next. Despite the isolation, Efua still hoped that her gift had a purpose. If only she could control it, maybe she could use it for good. She sought her grandmother, the oldest woman in the village, who was known for her wisdom and knowledge of the supernatural. Her grandmother listened quietly as Efua shared her fears, her doubts. After a long pause, the old woman spoke, her voice barely a whisper. Efua, child, your hair is a reflection of the world around you. This village has many secrets, and the people's hearts are not as pure as they would like you to believe. But be warned, the more lies you reveal, the more danger you bring, not just to yourself, but to all of us. The next morning, the village was in an uproar. The chief, a man who had ruled Uku with an iron fist for years, had been exposed by Efua's curse. It happened during the village festival when he was giving a grand speech about unity and honesty. Efua had been standing nearby, and as he spoke, her hair turned an ominous orange, a color it had never shown before. Gasps erupted throughout the crowd, and the chief's face turned pale as his eyes met Efua's. Rumors had circulated for years about the chief's dealings, stories of stolen harvests and hidden bribes, but no one had ever dared to confront him. Now, Efua's curse had done it for them. Outrage filled the air, and the villagers demanded answers. Some wanted the chief to step down, others called for his punishment. But the chief, furious and humiliated, turned his wrath on Efua. "This girl is a plague upon us," he shouted, his voice shaking with anger. "She has brought nothing but misery and discord to Uku. She must leave, or else we will all suffer under this curse." That night, Efua was forced from her home. Her parents, fearful of the growing resentment, packed her things and urged her to leave quietly before dawn. With nowhere else to go, Efua set off into the forest, unsure of her path but determined to find a way to rid herself of the curse. Days passed as Efua wandered deeper into the woods, hungry and exhausted. Just as she was about to give up, she stumbled upon a small hut hidden among the trees. An old woman, bent and wrinkled, stood at the doorway, watching her with piercing eyes. "You seek to be free of your curse, child," the woman said, as if reading Efua's thoughts. Efua nodded, too tired to question how the woman knew her plight. The woman beckoned her inside and revealed her true identity. She was a powerful witch who had once lived among the villagers of Uku, but had been exiled for her dark arts. She listened to Efua's story and examined her hair, watching as it shifted colors even in the silence of the hut. "I can free you," the witch said, her voice a low hiss. "But curses do not break easily. You must be willing to sacrifice something precious." Efua thought of her family, her home, the life she had left behind. She wanted nothing more than to return to Uku without the burden of her curse. "I'll do whatever it takes," she whispered, her voice trembling with desperation. The witch smiled, her eyes gleaming with a strange light. "Very well. You must confront the source of your curse. Lies feed on fear, and they thrive in darkness. Return to Uku and expose the deepest secrets, and the curse will break." When Efua returned to Uku, the villagers were shocked to see her. But she could tell that fear had gripped their hearts. They no longer saw her as one of their own, but as a threat, a reminder of their own deceit. Determined to end her suffering, Efua stood in the center of the village and called for a gathering. The people came, reluctant but curious, and watched as Efua spoke. "For years I have carried this curse," she began, her voice steady. "But the curse is not mine alone. It belongs to all of you. It is fed by your lies, your secrets, and it will continue until you confront them." Murmurs of protest rippled through the crowd, but Efua continued. "Chief," she said, turning to the leader who had once banished her, "tell them the truth about the taxes, about the stolen harvest. Tell them what you have done." The chief's face turned ashen, and for a moment it seemed that he might deny her accusations. But then Efua's hair began to shift, first to a deep crimson, then to the blackest of blacks. The crowd gasped, and the chief, unable to bear the weight of his shame, confessed everything. One by one, others stepped forward, each revealing their own secrets. Husbands and wives admitted to betrayals. Friends exposed hidden grudges, and families confronted long-buried resentments. As each truth came to light, Efua's hair gradually lightened, until finally it returned to its natural shade of black. The curse had been broken, but Uku would never be the same. The village had been stripped bare, its hidden sins laid out for all to see. Some villagers left, unable to bear the shame, while others stayed, hoping to rebuild a community founded on truth rather than deceit. Efua's curse taught Uku a lesson it would never forget, that lies, no matter how small, have a way of growing, feeding on fear and festering in darkness. Sometimes the greatest curse is the truth that we are afraid to face. In the end, Uku learned that true peace could only come from honesty, even when it hurts. In this way, Efua became a symbol, a reminder that sometimes curses are merely truths waiting to be uncovered. And as for Efua, she found peace, not in being accepted, but in knowing that her curse had in the end set her village free. If you liked this story, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more stories like this one. Thank you for watching.